Have you ever had to go back into some code and then figure out that you deleted the folder and now you need to reset up everything again? Being there, done that, actually doing that right now. So the good side is we have AI to help us. Today I'm going to be using Cursor and the new Auth0 plugin for Cursor in my setup. And the idea is to set up back again a demo that I did 2 years ago so I can eventually update it to make it look a little bit nicer. But I thought it would be fun to have you with me as I do that. What do you think? Let's dive in, shall we? Being DevRel is really good for us to keep our resources updated. With that in mind, I thought it was time for refresh into the simple applications I created for a tutorial that I did 2 years ago at EuroPython. Basically, it was a guide to migrate your Flask application. I need to get it updated. It has been 2 years. I have not committed anything new since then, and I bet I have some libraries that do require some updates. So today I'm basically starting with step 1, which is getting the application running and set up in a new tenant in Auth0. Auth0 launched a bunch of things. I need to make sure that my application is still running and that I don't have any problems. And I'm going to use Cursor and the Auth0 plugin for this. I already have this application cloned on my machine. You can see it here, but it doesn't have any of the configuration set up. I never used it with AI because it was way before. Thinking about it, 2 years ago, way before AI was actually that present in my life. So it's time to get to it. And the other difference from back then is before I was using VS Code. Now I have a brand new Cursor installation and I want to see what Cursor can do for me. Ideally, it's going to be able to set up my Auth0 tenant, configure all of the variables that I need locally, and then run the application for me so I can see it on the browser, log in, make sure things are working as expected. To prove to you that I'm not pretending here, nothing up this sleeve, actually I don't have sleeves, but you get it. I'm going to show you my repo. Here is very simple. I only have the code, the example that I can use, the README. The other side of this is I need to have the Auth0 plugin in my Cursor environment, which I'm not completely sure that I have right now. So we are going to double check that too. And speaking of Cursor, here it is. It is in dark mode, which I don't necessarily like, but we are going to deal with that, okay? Let's get to it. So this is the Flask web app, the same folder that I had before in my terminal, and I'm just gonna go and hope it works. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell it what I need. So this is the prompt and I'm gonna run it. But before I do, I need to make sure that I have the Auth0 plugin. I almost forgot it. So first we're going to here in customize, and then we're going to search plugins. I think I can browse marketplace and I can select the Cursor marketplace. And I want Auth0, so I'm going to do Auth0. And then it shows up here and I can add, it's added. So if you want to check it out, actually we have over 40 SKUs available and they are going to help you a lot. We have a collection of SKUs that are framework specific to our SDKs and integrations. One of them for the Python people over here is FastAPI and the other one is Flask. This demo application is actually in Flask. But if your framework is not listed here, please do comment below and let me know which one you are using. I can then bring that back inside and maybe we can prioritize that for you. But outside of that, we also have general information. So even if you're using a framework that is not listed here, there is a good chance that you are going to get better results by using these SKUs, because we have information about the quick starts, migrations from other providers, MFA, branding, custom domains, ACUL, which is Advanced Custom Universal Login, screen generation, and so on. So we have a wealth of understanding here that is going to help you while you're developing, or in my case, updating an old application. So since I already added this, it's installed. I can go back here to my chat, which I already have my prompt, and I'm gonna run it. Let's see how it does. Great. It's asking me to authenticate to Auth0 in order to actually do stuff. Okay, so it tried the Auth0 MCP first, and now it's going to check the Auth0 CLI instead. So I already logged into the Auth0 CLI yesterday, so it's going to use the same tenant and configuration that I used before. Let's investigate which two commands is running here. So it's listing my Auth0 applications. Is also generating the Flask secret key. So Flask needs a secret key to encode your cookie, so it's going to generate that for me. Before, I would have to generate that myself and then put that into the config file, which I kind of appreciate. It's a very nice, me not doing a lot of work stuff that I like. So it's going to create a new app via this CLI for me. So it's doing Auth0 apps create, is creating a Flask web app demo, is going to set up my logout URL and my callback. Okay, so this is actually pretty cool. So this here is the device authorization code flow process. So the way the Auth0 CLIs, both of them work, both the Auth0 CLI and the Auth0 deploy CLI work, is using device authorization flow to authenticate you and let you choose your tenant. One thing that I want to do though is check this code, make sure that it's the same code that when Cursor was running was showing me in the terminal. So I'm going back to Cursor first, and I'm going to see here, oh, your user login session has expired. And then continuing login to the default tenant, it didn't let me say yes or no. So I'm going to use this tenant, it's fine. And then this is the code that I want. It is very anxious. It didn't let me do what I needed to do. Okay, let's go back there and see if that still works. This was the same code that I saw before. Let's confirm. It lets me pick the tenant, and this was the tenant that I was using before, but I want to see if I pick this other one, if it is going to freak out on me. Accept. Basically, the device authorization flow is going to allow the CLIs to log into account and save all of the keys and secrets it needs for you to interact with Auth0. And it's a very neat way for you to let a CLI log in, or a device that doesn't have a keyboard, for example. I've done that in the past. It's kind of fun. It shows you a QR code if there is a screen that you can share, or in the case of the CLI, since we have an access to a web browser, you can just open the web browser directly or show you the URL for you to click and go through the process of logging in. Now, you didn't see me log in. That's because I was already logged into my account in that browser, and so it kind of knows that I'm trying to pick one of the tenants. So it's editing the config, it's creating my virtual environment for Python, installing the dependencies, and running stuff here. Great, fantastic, install requirements. So as it was waiting for me to do the input and I was talking to you, explaining what it did, it kind of gave up on waiting, right? But I did went through with the login flow. There was nothing stopping it. And unless I had waited a long time, I would be unable to log in. And since I logged in, it's going to try again because it identified that I had logged in, even though it was going to ask me to run the Auth0 login again. It's trying to create the web application in my tenant, and let's see if it does do what it needs to do. Okay, so it gave up. Fair enough. I should not have taken that long. It's my fault, Cursor. I'm sorry. So let's say, hey, I logged in. Can you try again? So now it's checking the active tenant. Now it's telling me that it's going to run this tiny Python script to create the config file, or at least edit the config file. And the good side is using the tenant that I logged in that time. So let's run it. I love watching AI work, especially here. It's very proactive, which is kind of fun. So it's asking me to restart the server. I don't want to restart the server. Can you do it? So I don't want to figure out that going on because I already have a server running. I'm just going to tell it to rerun the server and see what it does. Okay, so it's stopping the old server. Very good. Okay, it's running. Let's try to open it up. Okay, it's there. Awesome, thank you. Let's try again. So there is no place like home. Let's click Three Hills. Great, log in. It works. And how do I know it works? Is because I can see here Jazz Demos is the name of my tenant, and then I don't have an account yet, so I'm going to just continue with Google and see if it goes through the sign up process for me. Okay, and Flask Web App Demo, which is the name of my application. This is the tenant name. Accept, and it works. Yay! Ta-da! And here is Welcome Home, Jazz Temporal. Well, Jessica, but you get it. Click here 3 times. Now I can get on to updating this app, but this is going to be for our next video. So the great side of AI is running old applications is much easier now, especially if you have the right plugins for it. It's definitely going to make my life easier as I need to update this demo, which shows that not only you can build new applications, but you can also update old ones. So maintaining code can be a little bit easier, especially if you're running code from 2 years ago, like I was just trying to do. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions or if you want to see different frameworks supported into the Auth0 plugin for Cursor. And I'll see you on the next one.